I just came back from Japan and it has changed the way I look at reading. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Risha, and this is For the Love of Classics. I just came back from Japan and it has changed the way I think about reading. I've always loved reading, that is why this channel exists. I've always been a reader, and when I look at readers around the world, I'm inspired even more. The reading culture in Japan was very evident from the day I went there. Everyone, while commuting, had a small paperback in their hand. There's a big commuter culture in Tokyo, and people would quietly, respectfully be on the train and be reading. There was always one person on a compartment in the train holding a small paperback. Gee! The bookstores were massive, like multi story shops, and there were loads of them. I literally might have gone into more than 15 bookstores while I was there. There were people of all ages in the bookstores. There were books of all kinds, from manga to classics to literary fiction. I wasn't trying to film in there because it was usually not allowed, and I didn't feel like it was healthy to just shove camera into people's faces. They didn't have a lot of English literature there. Some of the bigger bookstores did have them. I wasn't there looking for English books, anyways. I was just trying to soak in their reading culture, their paperbacks, which are completely different from the Western paperbacks we're used to. I have come to find out is called Bunkobon, and it's this small paperback. It's compact. It is easy to carry in your pocket, and it's meant for like a casual reading experience. It basically simplifies reading for everyone. It doesn't complicate it. If you compare the normal paperback with this, you can see that the size of the Japanese paperback is really small. It does come with a dust jacket, so you can take it off. And this is what it looks like from the inside. So the usual price for a Japanese paperback was around 500 to 1000 yen, which is equivalent to maybe 2.5 to 5 pounds or dollars. But I did get the English version, so this one was a bit expensive. And look at the font size. It is just a great size for reading. I loved that their books were not like really, really long. They were usually like a lot of novellas and short books, which again, really easy for like quick read. While I was on vacation, I decided to read a Japanese book. That is something I've never done before, and the book I chose was Days at the Murasaki Bookshop by Satoshi Yagisawa. It is a novel set in Tokyo in the Jimbocho area, which is an area in Tokyo which is full of secondhand bookstores. Now, while I was reading the book, I was curious whether this place actually exists, and a quick Google search told me that it does. And of course, I had to go there while I was in the city. There was something so surreal about reading about a place in the book and then going there the next day to explore it. It was like real life and fiction coinciding, and the book itself is about the story of how a bookshop and how reading can heal a person. So, this was such a perfect book to read during my trip there. I mean, I've always wanted to read a book which is set in the country I'm traveling to. That's just my baby in the background. That's just my baby in the background. After reading Days at the Murasaki Bookshop, I'm currently reading Mild Vertigo by Miko Kanai, published by Fitzgeraldo Publishers. And it's a book about this housewife living in Tokyo, and it's just like a sort of psychological, reflective book about day to day life. And it's in the stream of consciousness style of writing, which I typically don't enjoy, but I am really intrigued by the premise of the book because I feel like the Japanese literature is a bit fast paced yet slow at the same time. It's like a calm reading experience. I'm really enjoying it at the moment. I already have a Japanese book ready for my next read, and it is called Sweet Bean Paste by Dorian Sukigawa. Apart from the bookstores, there's a huge stationery culture there. I have given up on annotation myself as a reader. But being in Japan totally changed my mind about annotation. I have a I have a special guest on my channel. I was inspired by all the stationery and tabs and stuff I saw in Japan, so I want to quickly show you guys a few things I got. I think they've inspired me to be more intentional about my reading, just slow down with reading in general. Obviously, I cannot use them when I'm reading ebooks or listening to audiobooks, which I am doing a bit of at the moment. But when I'm reading a physical book, I think they definitely will be coming in really handy. So I got a few tabs, like this one, and then I got like some colored tabs. I got some stamps, which I thought was really such a cute thing with ink in them. I'm gonna show some clips of these like close-ups of them. And then I got some highlighters and like pens. So I got this set of highlighting pens from Midliner Zebra, 5 different colors. And these are like really pastely cute colors. Then I got these 2 highlighter pens from Muji. I got some Uniball pens from Uniball. I got a marker, some coloring pencils from Muji. I also got a journal. I don't know how successful I will be at journaling. And then the thing which I am really excited about, which I got, is a book light, which is a clip on book light, because when I'm usually trying to read with my baby and my baby's asleep, I don't want to switch on the light or the lamp because it gets distracting for my baby's sleep. So this book light is definitely something I was looking for. And obviously they had like all these different reading tools in bookstores as well, which again, I loved. And then the only book I got from Japan was this edition of Almond by Won Young Son. I'm probably not saying it right, but she's an author from South Korea. I've heard a lot about this book from a lot of different people. The reading culture in Japan has definitely inspired me. I know the literacy rate is really high there. They integrate reading very early on in a child's life. They continue reading as adults. They don't just, grow out of it. The paperback is made in such a way that it is very compact. You can put a book in your bag. You don't really have to make a display of reading. It can be a part of your daily life. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Let me know if you guys have read any Japanese literature. I didn't go to Japan expecting a change in how I look at reading, but this trip definitely inspired the reader inside me. I'll see you all in my next video very, very soon. Bye-bye.